going on, guys? Arie here and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about some of the Facebook ads things that I personally wish I would have known when I first got started. Now you're going to be learning from my mistakes today, so it's going to be a very value-packed video, so I want you to pay attention. I also want to extend a quick thank you to you guys for helping me reach 16,000 Instagram followers. That's amazing. I can't believe the family's growing that big. And of course the YouTube channel is growing even faster, so make sure you subscribe to the family before we go too mainstream. I'm just kidding. But make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications. I always answer comments, especially at the beginning of videos. So just make sure you have your notifications on and that you're thinking of questions to ask right away. Now let's get right into it. So running ads for Shopify, right? The truth about running ads for Shopify. The first thing that I want to talk about is how you need to be more organized, or you'll make it much harder on yourself to scale. Now here is a great example, guys. This is one of the ad accounts that I used to run ads on for Trend Cove. If you don't know what Trend Cove was, it was basically an example store that I created here on YouTube, and I got it to about 2.4K per day in just under 30 days, which was amazing. But I did have to eventually discontinue the store just due to so many people copying it and therefore finding my main store since I was using some of the same strategies, etc., etc. But that's a whole nother story. You can definitely find all of those videos on my channel. But let me show you something real quick as far as organization goes. This is the campaign. And look at how unorganized. This is just one of the ad accounts, guys. One of the ad accounts. This was the smallest one. And this is why I'm comfortable with sharing everything here. But as you can see, this is pretty ridiculous, right? All of these ad sets are just so scattered. Nothing is very organized. And honestly, I personally think that's why this campaign in particular didn't perform amazingly, right? We did test a lot of different things for this. And a lot of the things, as you can see, is just $5 a day budgets. But everything is so scattered, and I wish we would have just followed a certain outline. But of course, when we switched things over to a new ad account, I personally just picked some of the best ad sets that performed the best on our other ad account and used them on this one. But honestly, that wasn't the best choice because that just caused us to be so unorganized, not very strategic about the way we scaled, and it just made us create a shit ton of ad sets, which ended up crippling us a little bit. You know, it takes a lot longer to make all these ad sets, and then of course you don't know which ones you already created. You have to always double check. It's just annoying. So make sure that you're following a structure, right? If you start with 10 ad sets a day, keep creating new ad sets, and then once you get to lookalikes, follow the percentages, 1 to 10%, and then, you know, view content. And then once you move on from those, go to add to cart. Try to be more organized, and trust me, it will definitely pay off. Now, the next tip that I wish I would have known is that if you have less than $15 per day to spend, it's not gonna be worth it. And at the beginning of my journey, I didn't have a budget, but I still went all in on Facebook and basically lost all my money. And I'm sure some of you guys can relate to that. And the reason why I know that too is because a lot of you ask me things like, Arie, is it okay if I do like $2 a day per ad set or something like that? And when I get questions like that, I think, it makes me think that people really do think that Facebook ads are some sort of magic trick, right? That it's just gonna get you sales. But no, don't do that. That's probably not gonna work. I mean, you could definitely test it out and like, you know, let it run for like 10 days. But I personally wouldn't recommend that. I think you'd get the same, you'd probably get better results, a lot more traffic, and just more data for your money if you just test some influencers. So for example, I have an influencer right here. If you had a dog page, I just found this literally in like 2 minutes, and obviously you can see that this page is actually running an ad right now, and it has some people tagging each other, which is pretty solid. And you know, just make sure that you're doing some research and negotiating. You can see that these people encourage you to DM them because they want your business. That's the best thing about this, is like they want your money more than you want to give them your money, if that makes sense. So you have leverage here. So make sure, one of the biggest tips for negotiation is to say that you plan on doing bulk orders if this goes well. This way they're gonna be more willing to just run the ad for you. I mean, it basically takes no effort on their part, and still make some money. And then, you know, obviously if it does work really well, then you should probably use them again. And then the biggest way to find more influencers, guys, is just to click this little dash right here, and then look, you have all of these like niche specific pages. And as you can see, this page in particular gets a lot more engagement. I can see it by the likes and comments, and they definitely are running ads, so just make sure that you hit them up. And this is just an example, right? If you have a health and beauty store, you know, just look up like makeup, beauty of makeup, right? So like 305,000. Their engagement's pretty trash though, so we'll look at some suggestions here. Makeup ear, I don't know what that is. That's pretty bad too. But you know what I'm saying? Obviously, this takes some work, and I recommend that you just basically keep track of every influencer that you use, or every influencer that you think is a good potential influencer to test. Like I said, this will take some effort, but this will be a much more cost-effective way to get started. And then you'll get some data that you can then either retarget on Facebook or just create audiences off of, right? And this is gonna be a much more efficient way to start than just trying to spend like as little as possible on Facebook at the beginning. So just make sure you keep that in mind before you lose all your money. Now guys, the next thing that I want to talk about is how every strategy can work. If you haven't noticed by now, basically a lot of YouTubers have different strategies. I've made friends with a lot of these guys, and we all do things a little bit different. I mean, not everyone. A lot of people do use my strategy of testing and stuff like that, but I can't really take credit for everything, because at the end of the day, we came up with that through things that we learned from other people, and then, you know, it's just kind of a cycle of things. Facebook is not just like a proven science. There's so many different things that work, and you really just have to test. So for example, this one, we just duplicated an ad set like 3 times, and we found one that just performed amazingly. This is just one of the things that you can do to test. And as you can see, we have so many ad sets that are new. So what we were doing is basically creating a ton of ad sets every day. Personally, I find that's the best way to scale. There's not really many high budgets here. The highest budget you see is like $10 a day. Now this was mainly the case because this product wasn't scaling that well, so I didn't want to just do huge budgets or anything. But you get the point, right? There's so many different strategies that work, and if you want to find out my exact testing strategy, make sure you go to the link in the description. I have a free Facebook ads course. I have like 3 already, honestly, on my YouTube channel, so make sure you check that out. But first, make sure you subscribe with notifications on. That would be amazing. And guys, it's so important for you to understand the actual strategy that you're trying out. Otherwise, you're always going to be relying on somebody to give you the answers. And guys, I mean, I love you all, and I hope you are kind of like taking my advice to heart, but like, what happens if I die tomorrow, you know? Then you're gonna have to go find another Facebook ads guy that will teach you how to do it, right? Like, you want to be self-reliant, and that's a huge thing. So just make sure that whenever you test stuff, you're trying to understand what you're doing. Otherwise, you're always going to be relying on other people, and that's not good. Now, the next thing, guys, is leave your emotions at the door. This is huge. A lot of people get very in like a panic state whenever their ads are not going well, but trust me, this is a numbers game. It's not a game about emotion. Like, don't expect miracles to happen. I see a lot of people that just let their ad sets keep spending money, more and more money, and thinking that they're gonna make something back miraculously. No, that's not how it works, guys. This is all a numbers game at the end of the day, so there's no room for emotions. If an ad set is not doing good, you have to kill it. If an ad set is doing amazing, just leave it. You know, don't act based on impulse. Like I said, try to understand what you're doing, and don't put any emotions towards your ads. Now, the last thing I want to talk about here is that it is a skill to develop, guys. Facebook ads are a skill. It's not an easy one, guys. It's not an easy skill to develop. It takes not only time, but it takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of money to actually learn, right? But trust me, any skill that is easy to learn is not gonna make you any money, or at least it's not gonna get you anywhere, right? Like, but this one in particular will. So it will be worth the effort. Even if your dropshipping store doesn't, you know, make you millions, at least you will know how to run Facebook ads profitably, so that you can either do it for other businesses or do it for another business that you may have. So just make sure that you're continuously learning from your mistakes. I said this in my previous video, but I think a lot of the reasons why people don't succeed is because they continue to do the same thing over and over, expecting miracles to happen and not really changing anything up or analyzing their mistakes and just, you know, working to fix them, right? They continue to do the same thing, and this is why they continue to fail, unfortunately. So guys, that's pretty much it. So guys, that's pretty much all I have for this video. And guys, if you did enjoy it and you want to give back to me, make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications on. That is the best thing that you can do for me. Like I said, I always try to answer as many comments as possible whenever I post my videos, so I love it when you guys comment right away. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram. Like I said, we reached 16,000 followers, which is just incredible. I'm extremely happy with that. But make sure you take these tips to heart, guys. This is, like I said, these are some honest tips. I really try to think long and hard about the things that I wish I would have known at the beginning. So hopefully this helped you out. But yeah, that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Like Nikes on my feet, keep my cipher complete. Nikes on my feet, keep my cipher complete.